You're just in time for the Geek Girl Riot. Geek Girl Riot.
It's Geek Girl Riot time, and I am Sherin, and that is...
I am Monique. I've missed you, Rioters. It's been a minute. How you been? How your mama and them?
You know they're not going to answer you, right?
You never know. It could be the voices in my head answering me. You know, same thing.
If they start answering you in real time, either the show has gone live or you're hallucinating. So
I could be hallucinating. I'm very tired.
Could be hallucinating. I'm on a lot of medicine, so I could also be hallucinating. My voice may last for this whole show and it may not, which is why you're going to get a bonus of our interviews with the cast of Roadhouse. That's going to be Jake Gyllenhaal, Jessica Williams, Daniela Melchior, Lucas Gage, and Billy Mingson, all from the new Roadhouse movie, which is Amazon Prime's or Prime Video's biggest original streaming hit. Good for them.
And
we enjoyed that movie.
Good. It was so much fun. It was like one of those popcorn movies. You just sit there, you don't have to think too hard. You just enjoy it and enjoy the beautiful body of Jake Gyllenhaal. How come I did not know? No one told me. Why didn't you tell me, Sherin?
He takes off his clothes all the time. I don't know what you were doing.
I don't know what I was doing, but god dang.
You should have been paying attention. But the way he hands out slaps.
The slaps were delicious. I might watch it again just for the slaps.
Just for the slaps.
You know how you were wanting to slap somebody sometimes? And, you know, just watching it was fulfilling a nice little fantasy. I loved it.
I want to slap people all the time, but I wasn't raised that way. I was raised to smile and then think bad things. Anyway, actually, no, that's not it either, unfortunately. I would love to think bad things, but I don't. Okay, yeah, I do. Everybody does. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is that we also have a great interview with Kirby from the new Apple TV Plus series, Sugar.
Sugar.
It's Sugar. It's starring Colin Farrell and Kirby.
Another one with a beautiful body. God dang it.
We talking about Kirby because I want her to be Storm. So we talking Kirby, we talking Colin.
I was talking Colin, but you know, I ain't gonna deny Kirby. So
you got a major sweet tooth tonight. I don't know what's going on.
I'm tired.
Tired don't make it. No, see, that you sound the opposite of tired.
I start saying whatever's on my mind when I'm tired. So there we go.
Oh no, girl, you sound like I might need to pour you something to drink. So. And then we are also just going to talk nonsense like we're doing now. So there's going to be that as well. But first up, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Sugar. It is a noir. It's definitely a noir, but it is a kind of like detective story that you're not sure if you can trust your own mind. You're not sure what is real and what isn't. That's all I can really tell you, because there is a big reveal in this series that you want to keep it. If y'all know about it, don't tell anybody, because you want people to discover it at their own pace and enjoy that nice surprise the way that we would enjoy any other mystery. And
that's right.
Yeah, it has that LA Confidential styles, big mystery taking place in Hollywood. It's got a lot of love letters to Hollywood, but Sugar is a detective who finds missing people, especially for the wealthy. And he gets this case of one of his favorite director's granddaughters, and it takes him down the path to hell. It's just, everything is dark and twisted and wrong, but his humanity is what keeps him kind of tied in and keeps us following along. And he and Ruby, who is played by Kirby, have this amazing relationship that you're not sure if you can trust. And if you can't, everything's going to crumble. So that is the Sugar series. It's coming to Apple TV Plus this week on April 5th. That's a Friday. You can binge it easily. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what people think. And I'm really looking forward to y'all hearing this interview with Kirby, which is coming up in just a few seconds. I got about 30 seconds before we go into the interview mode. Do you have any questions about Sugar? in this.
Now it sounds like fun. You know, I love a good detective story, a good whodunit, a good noir, you know. So yeah, it sounds like a fun watch and I can't wait to see it.
It definitely is. And it definitely has those old school vibes. You know what I'm talking about, where, it just kind of has the glitz and glamour, but it's also
So we're talking wardrobe.
Oh, yes. We're talking wardrobe. We're talking
now you're
dark
talking my language.
And all kinds of juiciness. So without further ado, because I'm that old, here is our interview with Kirby Howell Baptiste. Well, actually, Kirby.
Sugar is a classic detective story, but while I'm watching it, I'm thinking, what's wrong here? Like, what's underlying? Did you have that experience while reading the script?
A little bit. I think what I really love about Sugar is that if you are having that feeling even early on, then the show is doing its job. Because, a classic noir has that from the very beginning. It sets up the idea that something is amiss. There is something afoot and we don't quite know what. And that is true of every classic noir. And I think that if that's a feeling that you're getting off the bat, then the creators have done a good job of steeping this show in its history of classic noirs.
Absolutely. And I think the pillar relationship between Ruby and John Sugar is a part of what builds that so much. It's kind of like this, I call it a terse tenderness between the two of them. And whether we can trust in that relationship becomes so much of the series. How did you and Colin Farrell kind of make that chemistry happen? Was it natural?
Yeah, well, I love terse tenderness. I think that's really good. That's like the sort of a reimagination of like tough love. I really like terse tenderness. I think that's really cool. And in terms of our chemistry, Colin is very, very easy to get along with. He's really as a human being, he's very generous. He's very kind. He's really personable. He asks questions about you. He's curious. And I think having someone like that who is like that off camera and feeling really comfortable and relaxed and building rapport easily lends itself to the chemistry that you see on camera. Because I think people think that there is so much preparation to do to go into a role, but then at the end of the day, sometimes you kind of just have to let it all go and see what happens when you get there. And I think having personal relationships is that other sort of, it's the unspoken part of building a character. It's the part that you can't orchestrate and you can't control. But if it goes well, if you do get on with someone, then it makes for an even better end result.
Yeah. And, another part of that, kind of another side of that are the themes in Sugar, one of which is the corruptive nature that's inherent to humanity.
Yeah.
But also the flip side of that, right, is that our redeeming qualities in things like art and music. And I wondered if you agreed with that's like a big theme of the series.
Yeah, I think that's a huge theme. I think you're nailing both the genre and the central character, because the genre is that of, noirs in general. I mean, as the name would I guess, as the name says, it's a giveaway. Like it's a genre that has much sort of darkness, and particularly when you set it in somewhere like Los Angeles, you see the seediness, you see the underbelly of Los Angeles. And I think that's why, we have things like LA Confidential, we have noir set here, because I think there can be an inherent darkness to this place, but at the same time, there is the light, and I think Sugar is that. I think, you see Sugar constantly try to reject violence and reject darkness and be better than the world that he lives in.
Yes. I think the Jonathan Siegel character calls it a sensitivity and grace, or grace and sensitivity.
Yeah.
That nailed it.
Yeah.
So to close us out, I wondered who your favorite character is.
My favorite character. What's interesting? I'm kind of going through the Rolodex in my mind, because I think that the show has so many incredible heavy hitters. And, when you think about it, it really is, you have John Sugar as the central character, the titular role, but then you have also this incredible ensemble. Who is my favorite character? That's very difficult. You know, I want to say, honestly, I kind of feel like, I don't know if it feels like a cop-out, but I really did in this process fall in love with Ruby, not just because of what was on the page, but I really fell in love with the process of creating her. You know, I was allowed a lot of space on the creative side the way her hair is, like the way it looks, the way it is styled, the color, all of those things were conversations that I had with hair and makeup and with costume and building this character from the ground up. And I think to do something on such a large scale and on a platform as prestigious as this, to be still allowed the space to create and to be heard, I think is really special.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much, Kirby. It was a pleasure to talk to you. You're my beloved.
Oh, I love that. Light and darkness.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, that was Kirby. Monique and I will be right back, but watch Sugar this weekend. Okay, you're back on Geek Girl Riot with me, Sherin,
and me, Monique.
You guys heard about Sugar and our interview with Kirby in that first segment. And now in the second segment, before we jump back into giving you that replay of the Roadhouse interviews, you know, Monique and I just gonna talk trash for like 20 minutes. So
let's say before we talk trash, let's give a little honor to Chance Perdomo, who we just lost.
And Louis Gossett Jr., both of them. Louis Gossett had lived such a storied and legendary life that we were able to say farewell to him with full hearts. But losing Chance Perdomo in his 20s with a motorcycle accident, that one really hurt.
Very tragic. I just watched him recently in Gen V.
Yeah.
And it was
off of the boys on
Spin off of the boys. Yep. And it was so much fun. And, you know, I really enjoyed him as an actor. I did not get to see him in Sabrina because, you know, I might be a tough girl, but I really cannot deal with some certain horror films. So, you know, chicken and melt my heart somewhere. But I really do. I did enjoy him. And I'm very sad to see that, you know, things turned out this way. So prayers to him. Godspeed.
Yeah, it's the Chaotic Adventures of Sabrina. Just kidding. Was chilling, but it's spelled chaos. Was where I first became really familiar with Chance. And he and Tati Gabrielle had this chemistry on screen that was incredible. I'd hoped to see them together again. You know, he and Jazz Sinclair got to reunite in doing Gen V, but he and Tati Gabrielle had this thing. And it's just really sad. When I saw the headline, I just saw his name and I thought, oh, he's got a Hollywood Reporter headline. He must have landed a big role. I was so excited. And then when I read it and actually saw what it was, really crushing.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And Lou Gossett Jr. actually moved out here to Atlanta, you know, had been working on some things. I remember him from when I was a little kid and probably too young to have watched it, but Officer and a Gentleman.
Yeah.
Officer and a Gentleman. Boy, you know, Lou Gossett was the man.
He was indeed. He had a storied career and made us smile in so many different roles.
Exactly.
And, you know, had that grin that, you know, like that smile. There'll never be another smile like that one. And it made us believe every character he played, whether he was fighting aliens or fighting enslavers. We always believed him. So, yeah, that was sad. On the other side, of course, we've been listening to Cowboy Carter by Beyoncé.
Yes, we have. And we are loving it. We are loving it.
Yeah. And
I've been looking at all the think pieces. I'm sorry. You know, I have to say that when I first listened to it, and credit to you, Sherin, it didn't feel like a country music album. there are country songs on there, and I will tell you that this is the best remake of Jolene that I have ever heard. I enjoyed Jolene, and I really love the song she did with Miley Cyrus. I definitely was like having a good time with it.
Yeah, it's a good song, and I think that she makes a big point of talking about how it is an album that escapes from genre, even though it is very much an album about Americana, especially Southern Americana, Southern rock, Southern, a little bit of Southern gospel.
Yes.
A lot, but also a lot of British 60s and 70s rock.
Which I enjoyed.
A lot of Southern rock, you know, and that kind of Leonard Skinner, you know, Alabama range, things like that. I mean, not Alabama, but you know what I'm talking about. And all of those elements are in there. We're hearing some of like the 80s pop country make its appearance on there. Little taste of folk, especially like with 16 Carriages and things like that. We're seeing a lot of the young Black country stars on that album, especially with the remake or, you know, the cover of Blackbird, which she brought together all of the current Black women of country. And that was amazing to hear. And of course, their albums have shot up the charts.
Yes.
She's brought some of the guys in. And I think that kind of love is great. A lot of Beyonce fans have given Post Malone some love for the track that he has on there. Great to hear Linda Martell, Willie Nelson, and one of the great songwriters of all time, Dolly Parton on there. And I know some people have been posting pictures of Dolly besides Beyonce and saying, what the hell does Jolene look like? That she could even threaten to take these two women's man. And, you know, I mean, Jolene must
be Aphrodite or something. She got to be amazing. That's got to be she ain't a 10, she 100.
I mean, you know, mess around and we find out Jolene is Erykah Badu with the red wig because
okay.
Because that's the only person I could think of that could snatch your man like that. But yeah, it's a very cool album. I love Tyrant. Like, there's a lot of tracks. So it's a long album. Lots of tracks that I love. I do really like the two most wanted songs. You know, but I have to say, I was trying to hear other voices in my head because I really expected a Taylor Swift team up on here. I knew Dolly was going to be on there because Black people don't do country without loving up on Dolly. We just don't do that. But
yes.
I was kind of playing some other voices in my head, you know, like
I still see the Taylor Swift thing coming up the road, man. I think in Act 3 that we're gonna see some Taylor in here. We're gonna hear some Taylor.
What I have to say is that I think a lot of people are saying Act 3 is going to be rock, but she put a lot of. Don't forget that when you listen to American Requiem, it is Queen. And
it
Buffalo
really
Springfield and Buffalo Springfield. It's those two bands particularly that I hear when I listen to that song in the movement. And I think that is with good reason because she's talking about the influences on that Southern Americana sound. And I think that is so smart. There's a lot of smart things that she does. We talked about the Blackbird thing. We talk about going from Bodyguard to Dolly P to Jolene. Do y'all really, you peeping that? Like, that right there is doing some things when you go in that, because remember, the big song from The Bodyguard is I Will Always Love You, sung by Whitney Houston, written by Dolly Parton. So that little, it's just, Beyonce does all these little smart, cute winks and nods, and then all of this praise of the legends. And I just think it's really lovely that those things are included. But going back to Queen, lots of Queen on that first one in that British rock and that 60s and 70s era. So that's real cool.
So I hope that for Act 3, you know, it'd be nice to see some punk, some rock.
Well, that's what I think. I think that what's going to happen in Act 3 is that it's going to be pop punk. I think that because she likes to play with stuff. And going into straight up rock is too boring.
No,
It's
definitely.
not that obvious. So I think that we might be seeing some pop punk. I mean, like, okay, that's what I would do. So she might go completely different. We might get a totally different sound, but I just don't think she's going to go like electronica or anything like that because she's always already
I don't mind the electronica, but I hope it's more, I hope it's more of the alternative. I really hope that we hear more pop punk, more, I would even be interested in hearing some metal, some some real, let's really go there.
Yeah, I could see some soft metal. I don't know.
Maybe hair metal.
Let's go heavy. I can see slightly heavy. I don't know how heavy.
You see a Willow Smith team up? Willow's doing some really interesting things these days.
Yeah, Willow is definitely an alternative artist. And so, yeah, something like that would be real cool. She could even go into like indie rock. I think Beyonce would probably excel at some indie rock, but I just don't think it's going to be mainstream rock. But you never know. So I guess
I feel like she's going to keep on, and she should keep with this genre bending thing because it's so much more interesting. It's so much more interesting than having an album that's just all one thing,
Yeah, yep, I agree. As a matter of fact, on the pop punk tip, I was watching an anime series, and it's called, I think it's The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, something like that, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. And the opening is pop punk. And I was sitting there like, no one told me that anime is now using pop punk as openings. What is happening? And I loved it. So y'all go check that out. You'll find it. Even if I got the title wrong, you're going to find it because I always lead you in the right direction. But yeah, it's been fun to listen to that album. So we'll see what it does, but it's already moving careers. Love to see that she has put Linda Martell, one of the great Black women in country, back on the chart.
First one to perform in the Grand Ole Opry.
I mean, listen to that. Listen to that. That love.
She's got the new girls like Tanner Addison. Is that her name? Tanner Addison? Tanner?
Tanner Adele. I can't think of
Tanner Adele.
Let me pull them up.
Buckle Bunny.
Yeah,
I love her.
Yeah, that's the Buckle Bunny. You got Tierra Kennedy.
Shabuzi.
You got Shabuzi on there. And oh gosh, the other guy. Let me pull up these names because I want to make sure that we call everybody out. Yeah. I mean, not that it's not already going down, but yeah, we've got Raina Reynolds is on there. We've got Brittany Spencer on there. We've already talked about Tanner Adele. Rumi Carter's on there, so that's breaking another career. We got Willie Jones. That's who I wanted to talk about. Willie Jones and Shabuzi. And so, yeah, just, good stuff there. So what else is on your mind?
Is bringing up all the boats, girl. The country, our country brethren are getting their thing going. So, congratulations to you guys.
Yeah, that's great. And I know, what's the guy that you love? Kane Brown?
Kane Brown. I would have loved to have seen some Kane on there. I'm so disappointed that I didn't. That would have been fantastic.
Yeah. So what else is on our minds? Let's see. We watched 3 Body Problem, which was a lot of fun to watch. Our review is up on RIOTUS, as you guys know how to find that. We've watched a bunch of stuff. There's just so much going on.
I'm excited that The Bear got 3rd and 4th season. So yay for The Bear.
Oh, there was no doubt about that.
That's my joint right there.
Hulu has never had a hit other than probably The Handmaid's Tale that has popped off in the way that The Bear has. I mean, just sweeping awards, like, it's amazing. And I want to say something about Ayo Edebiri. I'm sorry, Edebiri. I used to pronounce her name wrong, you guys, so now I'm pronouncing it right. But Edebiri. And that is to say that she makes me feel free to be myself, to be a little bit off key, off kilter, as weird as you can possibly be, say the things that you think, be the geek that you want to be. And I'm just really thankful to Ayo for giving us that freedom to be all of the different girls that we are. And I think getting to see these characters is so important for us to just feel free. How do you?
Right. It's a character that exists. Like, it's not, like her storyline. She's a Black woman, of course, and there are things that Black people think or do or go through. But her storyline is not dependent upon her being a Black woman. She just is. And I love that. She just is.
Yeah, we need to see a lot more variety in what women of color, queer women, full-bodied, some people say fat, whatever word is comfortable for you, women, we need to see more depictions that allow us to be everything that we are, and where we don't get kind of boxed in and kind of chunked down into two prototypes, and that's all we get to be. We need to see more of us. And so it's really happy to see the Sydney character. It's really amazing to see all of the women on that show, but also to see Io at Debris really just blossom, to see Jeremy Allen White. Do you want to talk about him naked to just keep up with the first segment? Or?
Keep with the theme, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hearing that he might be, that he's being considered for Wolverine, or people are talking about him for Wolverine. That could be kind of cool. I could see that.
Yeah. And I think he was being considered for a biopic, which he looks perfect for, but now I can't remember what it was, because the medicine, y'all, you're lucky I got a voice, because you can hear I'm on the edge of nothing. But yeah, so you don't want to talk about him in his draw, so that's great. I'm just going with how you started off the first segment. You were...
Listen.
I don't mean to call you out. I mean, of course I do, but I don't want to admit it in public. So, and of course, we were saying earlier, you and I were talking about how we want science fiction with more people of color and more women leads. And we want, we want thrillers, and I want epic fantasy. You know this, I want epic fantasy desperately, with people of color just populating it, and no complaints about it. Like, because we want our fantasies and our adventures and our escapism too. We also want those things. We don't want to just watch you get to be the hero. We sitting there like, isn't that lovely? No, we would like to ride the dragon. We would like to save the day. Also, it's, we
like to be wizards and witches.
Yes.
And time travelers and spacemen and, Martians. And
we would like to stop more alien invasions. We would love to stop more alien invasions. We would also like
Will Smith doing it back in the day. What you think? We just stopped after Will Smith? Like, it was just no more? We forgot how to stop aliens after Will Smith? I mean, help me.
I mean, give me all kinds of space odysseys. Give me black space Vikings and brown and brown space pirates and women who like run the show. We would like to just have the full range of stories, because all people deserve to see themselves as full and varied. All people, except for Nazis. So that's something that's been on our mind. What else is on your mind? We have a little bit of time left on this segment.
What else is on our mind? You caught me off guard with that one. I really don't. Oh, this Nickelodeon documentary.
What? Oh, the one about the kids.
Quiet on
Set. Yeah.
Quiet on Set. Yes. Oh my gosh. So many. Now, the Nickelodeon that I remember from when I was a kid, I think was a little bit before this time. I'm hoping that the kids that I remember, like the, what's her name?
Alanis
Morissette and all those, did not go through the same thing that these kids did, because these kids have gone through some Drake Bell. I mean, my God.
It's horrific. It's horrific. And we need to stop letting the fact that people make money for other people allow them to abuse children, people with less power. We need to stop that. We need to start protecting each other.
Yes, protect your children. I mean, if you are a parent of a child who is a actor or a singer, like, you don't leave your children with these people. Just because they make you money does not mean that they protect your children.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got about a minute left, Mo. So you want to wrap out?
Well, we had a lot more Geek Girl Riot coming for you. Not right this moment, because right now we're about to go to commercial. But come back, listen in. We got some things happening. I think in the next segment, what's coming to them? The Roadhouse. The Roadhouse. Once again, the Roadhouse interview is coming at you, and it's going to be dope. Watch it. Watch the interview. Watch the show.
Or listen to it.
Listen to the interview, but watch the show. Watch the movie. Turn on Amazon. Do the thing.
Oh, yeah. You should watch the movie. Also, watch our teaser clip that we put out today. And, hang out with us online whenever you can. And
come on back.
We're going to give you great content because that's what we do. And you can also tell us what kind of stuff that you want to hear. This is Sherin
and this is Monique
for Geek Girl Riot. And we'll be back. Well, she won't, but I will. On Geek Girl Riot, you're here with Sherin and
Julian.
And as promised, we are going to have interviews with Daniela Melchior, Jake Gyllenhaal, Jessica Williams, Billy Magnuson, and Lucas Gage. All of those people. Did I stumble over my words too much, Julian? Should I take that again?
I think it's fine. I don't know how to say none of them names.
Yeah, so those are all the people. Y'all are lucky I remember these names. I slept for 12 hours because that's how tired I am. So I'm giving you my best. But we're going to jump into that interview. Actually, Julian and I are going to talk about Roadhouse first. So it gives you a little bit of a setup for the interviews. And then we're going to close out this segment with those interviews, which were a lot of fun. So Roadhouse, y'all know about the original, right? It's the original. Well, some of y'all probably don't know about the original, but the original Roadhouse is a cult classic film made in 1989 that starred Patrick Swayze. So Patrick Swayze is legend. And this movie, I was about to say series, but the movie is about a bouncer by the name of Dalton who is legendary in the dive bar circuit because he never loses a fight. Gets called in to help out at this Florida bar that is basically in hell.
Wait, no, it's Missouri. It's like Missouri or whatever. I just watched it again.
Oh, it is the Midwest in the original. It's Florida.
I literally watched it because I was like, yo,
I watched it too. But I had Florida in the brain because of the farm and was not thinking about the Midwest. But yes, because I watched Roadhouse original on a Wednesday night, and then I watched New Roadhouse on a Thursday night. So just boom, boom. Anyway, this called in. He's gonna, clean up this bar, but he finds out that there is much more than a bunch of local riffraff messing things up. So that's a setup. Did that work for you?
Yeah, it works for the second. The old one, the new one feels it's a little bit different, but yeah,
the new one is different. So the new one has more or less the same setup, except this time it is Elwood Dalton, and he is a fighter. Matter of fact, he's out here in undercover, black market street fighting brawls, right? And they're doing cage matches against people like Post Malone,
who shouldn't ever be shown as being a tough fighter. But yeah. Well, actually, he's credited Austin Post, which I didn't know. That's why his name is Post Malone, is because his last name is Post. Okay.
Yes. So, yeah, but he's not really a tough fighter, as it turns out. But what it shows us is the legend of Dalton. What I think, and then, of course, this time it's Florida. This time the person that calls him in is Jessica Williams in a role that is much more robust than the original owner of the bar's role with Frankie. And also Daniela Melchior, who plays Ellie, has a much more robust role than, who was it in the original? Kelly Lynch?
I don't know the name.
Yeah, let me just see right quick.
My man Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
Or, like, I don't, like, most of those, I did know the original.
It was Kelly
Frankie,
Lynch.
But like some of them other people, nah,
yeah.
I don't remember now.
The original was Kelly Lynch, and again, a much more robust role. And so once again, finds out that the town has got some issues. He makes friends with he becomes best friends in a way with a teenage girl named Charlie, played by Hannah Love Lanier. And she's the one that says, your life is like a Western. And indeed it is. And that's the new Roadhouse. What you got, Julian?
It's like a Western. It's like Beowulf. It's like... It's like anytime like a great hero comes to like a town, the face against a evil baron. Like it is very classic hero archetypes in this nice modern late capitalism influenced American story. Yeah, I don't know. It was like I watched both of them and like there's points in when you watch old Roadhouse and it gets like cartoonish, but it feels like of its time.
Like that red paint blood. Y'all forgive me tonight. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't articulate.
The hyper red blood.
Oh my gosh! I was like, y'all didn't have any money. Y'all didn't have any corsair.
Or the fact that I do like the fact that everybody dresses like they out at night, that they would be in the 80s and the 90s, like night shirts,
white rain,
belts,
but the white rain, the hair, Julian.
Yeah, the hair was on point, but the new one,
it was huge. It wasn't on point. It was massive.
It was great.
You could set that whole place on fire just by putting a match in the air.
But there was a lot of fire in the old one too. A whole lot of explosions.
A lot of explosions. A lot of sex. Well, not a lot of sex, but very.
Actually, compared to now, no, it is a lot of sex. It has about the same amount of nudity and sex as Poor Things when you look at it. And that's having. And you're right. Going by old movies, there's not a lot of sex in Roadhouse. To new movies, whole bunch of sex, whole ton of sex. 100% more sex in old Roadhouse than is the new Roadhouse.
There's no sex.
Zero sex.
Exactly, and it's better for it because they have a lot more romantic scenes, which you will hear about in the interview. But the it feels to me, and I said this, the characters feel more developed. They feel more dimensional. And that adds to this movie in a lot of ways. They intensify some of the things with Dalton, like his numbness. I just think this movie, and I don't think that Jake Gyllenhaal agreed with me, but I actually think this movie is better written because of the added depth. Like this is not an auteur's piece of cinema, as Julian would say. It's not that. But what it is that it really economizes on letting you understand who these stories are, who these characters are. Dalton is numb. They show it two ways right off the top that are so demonstrative. Frankie will fight for everything and she does not care. If you are a bad guy and you get hurt, she does not care because you brought it on yourself. Ellie is rebellious and she has an actual character other than being some pretty blonde thing for Dalton to fawn over, or to be some kind of bargaining chip between the villain and Dalton. So I thought those things were really important. I also like the action, this is an MMA style of fighting here, especially when you consider your main
this
villain.
One. Yeah, because in this one, they have branding. So it's, UFC is part of this. The big difference between the old Roadhouse and new Roadhouse. Old Roadhouse, Dalton is like a famous, super known bouncer. And in this one, he's a guy that can actually fight. That's infamous, that is sought out to be a bouncer. And
they're both legendary. Right, but they're legendary for different reasons. Yeah. And I like that because this whole idea of a legendary bouncer circuit was really great. But this thought that Dalton is a real fighter, I did miss the edge of Dalton where I was hoping that they were going to add in some of his philosophy background because they keep that he reads books and that he's actually very intelligent, but they get rid of the background he has in philosophy, and I actually missed that.
I think what I like about this movie is that this Dalton is like, I don't see him as numb. I just see him as being overcorrecting and completely afraid of himself, like how far he can go. So he makes sure he's very measured and caring to a point where it's like he will beat up the bad guys and then like take them to the hospital so they can get sewed up. Like,
and that was what reminded me of Reacher, because that is almost a mirror scene of one in season 1 of Reacher, which tells you the character of your hero. But I think we're saying the same thing. When I say that Dalton is numb, he's emotionally numb because of his past, because of what he's been through. So he is literally numbing himself down to avoid his pain. So we're saying the same thing. We just have really different ways of saying it. And what I'm talking about is when he gets stuck with a knife earlier and it's just sticking out of him and he's just like, doop, 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 doo, doo. Or when he drives himself onto train tracks. Those things are what tells me they're giving you his kind of psychology in very, very efficient paint strokes, which the original movie took a lot more time to say.
Yeah. I like the characters more in this. The only thing I do think is better in the old film is the bad guys way better in the original film.
The bad guy's a little scary,
for the
but I
same
think
guy.
here we have kind of, again, these kind of analogs. But with this one, what they do with the Billy Magnuson character, who is that they make him kind of like this kind of spoiled brat villain. And then to counter that, they give us Conor McGregor, actual MMA fighter.
As an insane person.
Is an absolutely insane, murderous villain with a lot of flair. Like very much one of those flamboyant kind of villains.
Well, for those who know Conor McGregor that are listening, Conor McGregor is just playing himself.
Yeah. In a character called Knox in the movie, but yeah, very much who his
personality is.
Yeah.
In real life.
Much of that. In real life. I think that, yeah, the villain in the first one, but it was more of it felt like more of a like 80s villain to me in the first one. And this villain combo here, because the guy who was in the role of Knox in the original, he was much more understated. He wasn't as scary. He seemed like a lunatic, but he wasn't scary. He didn't seem like a real foil for Dalton. And this one with Conor McGregor as Knox, you really do feel like your lead might just end up at the bottom of the ocean.
Yep. They just gotta go left. And
easily.
It's just, for me, it's just like, in this movie, everyone around the bad guy is a threat.
Yeah.
But in the old one, no, the final boss is the bad guy. Like he is terrible. He is rigging capitalism. Embodied in a person. And it's like, I done fought in a war, and you gonna get down or you gonna lay down because I'm gonna get more of this money. I was like, God dang. Come on,
run this town. And that's why I think it's more for me of a samurai movie than a Western for me. But Westerns and samurai films have very similar structures, so I'm gonna let that go. But I enjoyed this. I enjoyed how it's structured. I don't know if I was missing something. There might be a little something missing for me as far as satisfaction levels. But what I really love about this is it's open-ended. So we could easily get a franchise here or get a kind of a television show spinoff or whatever, because it's so open-ended. You feel like it's possible you're going to see some of these people again.
Yeah. And I also think, the studio might not hear this, but the director is right. This movie should be seen on a big screen. As much as I enjoy watching it in my house, the fades that was handed out in this movie deserve to be seen on a large movie screen. So when you see Jake Gyllenhaal smack somebody open hand to beat up a whole group of guys, he beats them up with just open hand smacks to the face, that should be seen in a crowd full of people. So you just hear a bunch of people go like, oh.
I'm going to stop you there. That's perfect. We're going to jump into this interview.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I'd like to just go very conversational if we can.
Love it. Okay. Take it to the combo.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we already know.
Fun. You're welcome.
Yes,
just like I do in convos.
Yeah. That's what we do. Yeah. So you guys
we already know that Roadhouse is a big, splashy, enjoyable actioner. But what got to me was that your characters have more dimension here than they did as the original analogs. You know, for Dalton, we've got a more intense numbness. With, I almost said Daniela, but with Ellie, we've got kind of this rebellious autonomy. And then, of course, with Frankie, there's this staunch protection of her legacy. When each of you read the script, what did you appreciate most about that added depth?
I'm always looking to play characters that have, like, you know, just depth in general. And I think now in this day and age, there's so many great like movies and TV shows that now we can afford to like show more complicated and nuanced characters. And that's what really drew me to this project as well, was that, you know, by the time you get to the end of the movie, it's not like all the characters are wrapped up in a bow. It just feels like we dropped in on this town in this little situation and it just continues. And I like leaving things a bit like open-ended and not like wrapping things up. And I think all the characters came from a place and you don't know everything about them, and they're going to a place that you don't know everything about. Like, and it's really cool.
It is very cool. I feel like we'll see them again, maybe.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, to me, you have this guy who has been given this skill and it's led him into places that haven't always been good, you know? And so I think that was just the depth of that. And then also bringing the UFC into the mix, which I think was also just a huge bonus, you know, for the story. And him being that ex-fighter, it just, like, to me, yeah, there were aspects. But I have to say, you know, at least the Dalton in the original was pretty complex. You know, he had a lot of wonderful layers to him. And but I would agree with you about their roles. You know, I think there's more layers to their roles.
Yeah, I just love the fact we missed the philosophy. Sorry? Oh, we missed the philosophy backstory with Dalton, which I found interesting.
Yes. I liked it. Yes. And to me, that was something that I think was inherently kind of part of the Swayze character in the original that I think for this Dalton is not there. I think he's sort of grappling with other demons and trying to work through them like in a different way, though they both have them. But I think that kind of intellectualism, I think we pulled out a bit, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
You saying something?
No, I was just saying that I love the fact that Ellie doesn't have any problem about going after what she wants. And yeah, just, that's it, basically. I don't know. Yeah, Ellie is such a badass and modern version of a love interest, I would say, but in a very, not spicy, but salty, you know, with seasoning. I don't know. I
like the seas.
Yeah, she has the sauce.
She has the Riz, the sauce.
She will not be stopped.
I mean, not spoiling, it didn't work, but still, she's good with it, you know.
I love the sandbar date. I was like, wow, that's a vibe.
That was
It
good.
was very beautifully done. That was really pretty.
It was nice.
As a romance lover, that worked for me better than a love scene, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I felt modern. I feel like Doug did a really good job of that.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And also, Henry, he was our cinematographer. And it's not the first time that I'm working with him. I did the Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy with him, and he's amazing with his Steadicam and everything. Yeah.
Guys, I'm actually done. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. That was Daniela Melchior, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Jessica Williams. Now we're going to talk to Billy Magnuson and to Lucas Gage. And Billy, Lucas, and I get super silly, really silly, but you'll hear it. Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. How many times have we done this?
You know what? This is my first time.
Is it? No, damn it.
He thought you guys met.
I thought we met before.
Everybody feels like they know me. They tell me their secrets.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What do they tell you?
Yeah.
Give us one.
I have to tell you after this because we've only got 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
So although both of you guys are on opposite sides of this showdown, you get to play these fan favorite character types that You know, yeah, like we love them in Lone Gunman stuff and Lone Samurai stuff. And what I mean by that is, Billy, you're this kind of maniacal brat villain. And then for you, Lucas, you're the ardent student of the master. That's what I'll call them.
Yeah.
So for both of you, and I guess...
Well articulated. Yeah, that was really good. That was better than anything I've said this press jacket. Thank you.
Take that with you.
I'm going to. I'm stealing it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So why do you feel those roles keep coming back, and what made them so juicy for each of you to play? Billy.
Oh, shit. He played Billy. I'm Billy. What it made juicy, again, like working with such a wonderful director like Doug Liman, it is all I hope for in my career is to work with people that are open to collaboration and exploration and discovery and giving me space to create, live in a character and grow. So all I could do is thank Doug for creating the playground to play on. You know, I don't think that answered your question at all.
No, that works for me. I love collaboration.
You work, sir. I like you. I don't know.
I like that. I like his answer. And I'll say, I think my character has a common archetype, the boy to man kind of. He's growing into his own. He's learning how to not be such a wimp anymore and stand up for himself. So I think there's something empowering about watching that. There's something I like seeing a character have an arc and discover something new about themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that too. Yeah, that's gorgeous. So kind of a fun question, since I gave you a serious one to start with. How hard was it not to get hit by Connor because he's a fighter?
Actually, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
He was the best person to not get hit by.
Do you remember when the stunt guy accidentally hit his like bad ankle?
Yep.
He lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he lost it.
He went crazy.
Yeah, because he's just in control of who he is.
Yeah.
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 So is there anything you...
Let's ask a more fun question. A funner, more fun?
Funner.
Funner? More funner. Funny.
I'm going to ask you my favorite question to ask, but it's not necessarily a Roadhouse question, but since we're wrapping up. So if you could live in any fictional universe ever created, what would it be and why? But we've only got like...
Okay. I would live in Willy Wonka land.
Okay.
Gene Wilder's time.
Yeah.
Harry Potter world. Let's go.
Yeah.
Weirdly, Jurassic Park. I would hang out with Jurassic Park. I know this camera guy's like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm troubled by that too.
Star Wars. I would do that.
Star Wars would be good. I do Aladdin. I want to just like ride that rug everywhere and just go on a little magic carpet ride.
Nice.
Yeah. Ride that rug.
New world.
Whole new world.
Thank
Where would you go though? Hey, actually, tell us a secret before you live off. You taught me, promise.
Oh gosh, which world would I live in? Probably like Jujutsu Kaisen, the anime, or Demon Slayer. Go with my
dang.
Yeah.
That's niche.
Oh, I didn't know we were opening it to that kind of stuff.
Now I want to change.
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah.
You know the video game Skyrim, Oblivion, in that world? I would really do that and like be like a thief elf.
Ooh, that's what I would do. Like God of War.
Ooh, that's good. That's
God
good.
of War. See, you guys are my kind of people.
Yeah. Hey.
That's my time. It's good to meet you.
What's the secret?
Wait, what's the secret? What's the secret?
Oh, a secret that people tell me. I can't even think of one.
Boo. Not friends.
Like one lady told me her daughter's entire sex life on a metro train.
Yeah, that adds up.
Yeah,
that adds up.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.